Welcome back to Zen Beautiful Art, a podcast by Lucy, where watercolor meets mindfulness, and we take small steps toward a slower, more creative life. If your schedule feels packed, your energy feels low, and you haven't touched a brush in weeks, this one's for you. You know, it's easy to get caught up in that idea that creativity needs a big chunk of time to matter. Like you need hours, a perfect setup, or the right mood before you can even start. But that can be a trap, especially for busy people juggling work, family, and everything in between. I want to share a little story about how just 15 minutes changed my perspective on creativity. You know, it's easy to get caught up in the idea that creativity needs a big chunk of time to matter. Like you need hours, a perfect setup, or the right mood before you can even start. But that can be a trap, especially for busy people juggling work, family, and everything in between. I want to share a little story about how just 15 minutes that changed my perspective on creativity. Last month, life was full. Work deadlines, family stuff, my own to-do list. It was one of those weeks where my planner looked like a novel. I was tired, overwhelmed, and felt like my creative self was completely burned under everything else. And I kept telling myself, I don't have time to paint. But deep down, I know that wasn't really true. I needed that creative space more than ever. For one afternoon, I decided to challenge myself. I set a timer for 15 minutes. I sat by the window with my sketchbook and my watercolors. No expectations, no goals, just a little time to reconnect. I picked a lemon from a fruit bowl nearby and started painting. Now, I'm not saying I created a masterpiece. Far from it. It was a simple yellow blob, some shadows, a little splash of green for the stem. But as I painted, I felt my breathing slow down. My mind stopped racing. For those 15 minutes, nothing else mattered except that lemon and the color flowing on the paper. And you know what? When the time passed, I felt refreshed. I didn't feel behind on my work or chores. I felt like I had given myself a gift, a small beautiful pause. This experience got me thinking about how we often underestimate the power of small creative moments. We think we need big blocks of time, perfect conditions, or the whole day filled to be creative. But sometimes it's the tiny moments, 5, 10, or 15 minutes, that can have the biggest impact. Let me share a few reasons why these short creative bursts can be so powerful. Firstly, they reduce overwhelm. When creativity feels like another huge task on the to-do list, it can add stress instead of a relief. But knowing you only need 15 minutes makes it doable, even on a crazy day. Second, they build momentum. Small wins encourage you to come back. One sketch turns into another, and slowly, creativity waves itself back into life. Lastly, they reconnect you to yourself. Take even a few minutes to play with color or shape. Reminds your brain, hey, this is who I am, an artist, a creator. Here's a little practice you can try starting today. Find a quiet spot, maybe your kitchen table, a cozy chair by a window, or even outside. Set a timer for 15 minutes. You can use a phone or kitchen timer. Pick a simple subject around you, a lemon, a leaf, your coffee cup. Paint or sketch without worrying about the result. No perfection, no pressure. Just notice how the color mix, how the brush moves, how the paper feels. If you want, you can even make this your mini daily ritual. A little creative coffee break that helps you clear your mind and refresh your spirit. I remember after that lemon painting session, I started carrying a small sketchbook with me. Sometimes I'd sneak in 5 minutes during lunch or waiting for an appointment. Other times I'd do a quick watercolor wash while listening to music. It wasn't about creating art to show anyone. It was about being creative in whatever little pockets of time I could find. And that's something I want to gently remind you today. You don't need a lot of time to reconnect with your creative self. Small sketches can lead to big shifts. They can soften your stress, spark your joy, and remind you that creativity lives inside you, ready anytime you want it. Before we wrap up, here's a little bonus tip that helped me. When you only have a few minutes, focus on one brush and 1 or 2 colors. Limiting your materials frees your mind from choices and helps you dive straight into painting. For example, try just a round brush or 2 favorite colors, maybe a calm blue and a sunny yellow. See what you can create in 15 minutes. Thank you for spending these quiet, creative minutes with me here on Zen Beautiful Art. I'm Lucy, and I hope this episode inspired you to find your own small sketch moments today. If you haven't already, subscribe to the podcast. And if you want a little nudge, I have edited a few 15 minutes watercolor sketch video on my YouTube channel. You can check out Zen Beautiful Art. Remember, it's not about perfection or time. It's about showing up for yourself, even in small ways. Until next time, paint gently and live beautifully.